In the mid-16th century, an unprecedented type of academy called Seowon was founded in Korea. These private educational institutions were established and operated by the sarim, the influential Neo-Confucian literati scholars from the region. Seowon delivered an education of whole person, a discipline firmly pursued by Neo-Confucianism, which was adopted by the Joseon Dynasty for the state of governance. The number of Seowon surged, reaching approximately 1,000 by the mid-18th century. Though experienced a major shutdown by the central government in the later years, dozens of Seowon managed to survive until today. 9seowon in particular boast their values kept intact. All of them are located in secluded places amidst an outstanding scenic beauty. Surrounded by mountains, Seowon overlooks a stream in the east. Seowon is located behind a stream, whereas Seowon, and Seowon are adjacent to a river in front while encompassed by mountains. Seowon and Seowon are located amidst fields, yet are enclosed by forests in the back. The east of Seowon is surrounded by fields, while the other three sides are adjoined by forests. Unlike other academies, Seowon is situated in the middle of the village, with the academy's north bordering the foot of a mountain. The location close to nature was deliberately considered by literati scholars who believed in Cheonnin Habil, a Neo-Confucian belief that man and nature were one entity. Taking advantage of environs, scholars observed the changes in the natural surroundings, learned the law of nature, and grasped the meanings of the world. This is why Seowon forms magnificent architectural ensemble, harmonized with surrounding nature while staying away from the hustle and bustle of the mundane world. What about the education of Seowon? Unlike the predecessor, the Goryeo Dynasty, whose governing ideology was Buddhism, the Joseon Dynasty sought to be a completely different country which adopted Neo-Confucianism for the state governance. For the entrenchment of Neo-Confucianism, sarim spared no money in establishing well-rounded schools, or Seowon, where scholars advanced an education through a method of learning called jangsu, a cultivation of mind and body. Sarim pursued an education through a method of learning called jangsu, a cultivation of mind and body, in an attempt to transform the county into a Neo-Confucian-based state. To facilitate jangsu, the academy offered 3 educational activities, which are study, relaxation, and rites. Study required students to read Confucian classics over and over until they were able to wisely harmonize knowledge and practice. Relaxation means taking joy in nature, to relieve the tension of study while understanding the law of nature and controlling one's mind. Rites are forms of activities to regularly conduct sacrificial rites to honor the deceased masters of the region and to pass on their legacies. The areas of relaxation, study, and rites are arranged from front to back in the order, reflecting a Neo-Confucius belief that all three activities were intimately connected and were mandatory steps to nurture kunja, or a noble man. Seowon are one of the most important educational institutions that have continued to exist in the long history of East Asia. However, unlike that of China and Japan, Korean Seowon was a place for purely studying Neo-Confucianism and a cradle for ritual ceremonies, which have been preserved almost in their original forms until today. Other than the principal role of educating students, Seowon served as a base for activities of local literati fostered by the academy, thereby consolidating the solidarity among related clans and families. Moreover, the academies played an instrumental role in gathering regional voices and promoting local culture. Because of various functions Seowon performed, a wide range of literary texts and documents were produced by the academies. There were a publisher to facilitate the production and distribution of books and wood blocks, and a library to provide access to literature for students. This is why Seowon are highly regarded as an educational, cultural, and intellectual foothold of the regional area. The general characteristics of Korean Seowon have kept intact by all 9 academies. Since the establishment, the architectures and their natural surroundings have continued to be strongly protected and preserved. Neo-Confucian propriety has continued to be properly practiced. The original roles of rights, study, and social education have continued to be carefully passed on by the local scholars. Thanks to the support of the government, Seowon and their values as cultural heritage have been well maintained in the form of related laws and subsidies. In addition, measures are implemented to utilize Seowon heritage, aiming to improve the understanding of Seowon culture and enhancing the access to the academies. Since the first establishment in the 16th century, the traditional roles and functions of Seowon have never been diminished. Among countless values Seowon hold, a well-rounded education is an invaluable heritage that may be shared by the world and passed on to the future generations.